I have always loved self-help books. In my later teen years, I got my hands on a copy of The Dance of Anger and studied it with more diligence than the SATs ever got. Don't get me wrong, I was a normal teenager who thought the title of the book was extremely uncool, and I hid it from everyone in my life. But nonetheless, I was hungry for it. At the time, I was also a burgeoning, over-functioning, codependent workaholic who blackout drank on the weekends. It's hard to think back to my teenage mind and even muster a strongly formed sense of what I must have thought therapy was. But I certainly had some kind of idea, and I wished I could try it. Self-help books were my affordable and private alternative. I also had this strange feeling that I wanted to be a therapist. But when you find yourself waking up in the morning, blankly uncertain of how you got home, putting the pieces of last night's puzzle together with random convenience store receipts from your pockets while bottom shelf liquor burns a hole in your stomach, it's hard to feel proud of your hunch that you would make a great therapist. We all have gifts, but sometimes those gifts are buried very deep under pain, remnants of unbearable trauma, systemic oppressions, and the daily coping strategies of our lives. It takes bravery and dedication to finally put the hazmat suit on and dive to the bottom. I knew that people often said they felt that they could tell me anything. I knew that spending hours thinking about the intricacies of interpersonal dynamics and the nature of humanity never bored me. I knew that I was deeply passionate about change and growth. But needless to say, becoming a therapist was a long way out. In the United States, we live in a culture that struggles to process shame, which in turn creates citizens who mirror the cultural difficulties. There aren't many examples of leaders or public figures apologizing, acknowledging mistakes, or even just accepting that something did not go as planned, despite a plethora of situations that warrant such actions. We are focused on success and obsessed with genius, prodigy, and exceptionalism. This makes for a hard time stepping into yourself and following your dreams. Have you ever found yourself not trying something new because you were afraid you would not immediately excel at it? Or have you found yourself following a path because you were decently skilled at it from the start, even if you aren't passionate about it? These are common issues in a world where we aren't taught how to process shame, normalize failure, and normalize learning. Learning implies that you do not yet know or are not yet formed in your skill set. We have become so culturally obsessed with success and productivity that we don't comfortably allow ourselves to be lost, to be in paradoxes that require creativity to resolve. Ultimately, being overly focused on success challenges our ability to explore. And exploration is a spiritual necessity in the path toward living a fulfilling life. It takes some practice, but letting yourself be humbled by failure and learn the lessons it has to offer is what often takes you to the next step in life. There was a time in my life when I was living for praise instead of passion. However, it was doing something I was absolutely terrible at and received no praise for that changed the course of my life. In my mid-20s, I started to train as an aerialist. I spent 5 days a week training, climbing up ropes, learning tricks on trapeze, rolling around on mats, and accruing injuries that still hurt today.